Look around you for a second. No, seriously, look around you for a second. 1 out of 4 women was or will be raped. 1 out of 3 was or will be sexually abused. If a girl was sexually abused as a minor, she is twice as lucky to be raped later on. That takes your chances from 1 out of 4 to 1 out of 2. Unfortunately, this is my category. We usually speak about women, but reality is that men, usually boys, 1 out of 6 also are raped. In the United States alone, every 2 minutes, a person is raped, which means by the time I'm going to finish this talk, we'll have another 3 new members in our community. By the end of the day, we're going to have 823 people joining us. Toolkit for Rape Recovery is a web series. It's a highly intimate video blog in which I share what I learned on my path of recovering from sexual abuse and rape. Let's watch a second.
Hey, my name is Noa Maiman. I'm a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, and an actress. This is Emma. Welcome to the Toolkit for the Fresh Rape Victim.
This is the first 20 seconds of the first episode, which is called It's Not Your Fault. Toolkit for Rape Recovery has 12 episodes or themes in recovering from sexual abuse and rape. It exists in 2 versions, both in Hebrew and in English. Now let me tell you how it all started. Like many great ideas, Toolkit was first conceived when I was taking a shower. Let me rewind. I'm a filmmaker. My first movie was Oi Mama, a documentary about my grandmother's Holocaust story. A few days after it was first aired, I got an email from a lady writing to me that she loved the movie and she really, as a rape victim, she really identified with that. I was touched but very surprised. What the hell does Holocaust and rape have to do with each other? Apparently, a lot. She told me how Holocaust survivors, rape survivors, and shell shock survivors all suffer from very, very similar symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. It was an eye-opener. For the first time, I realized that many of the sentiments and of behaviors I experienced were actually symptoms, textbook symptoms of how we normally respond to an abnormal situation. She was talking about one specific issue, which is feeling ashamed. She talked about how the 3 of us, all this group, suffer from being ashamed for something that was conducted to us, something that happened to us that was not our fault. I later on called her my rape angel. A few years after, I was in the Israeli Dancing with the Stars, and let me just tell you, I'm not a dancer, I'm more of a martial arts kind of girl. Now, usually, that's how I roll, very covered up, hide, not really letting people see me. In the show, I had to allow myself to be beautiful again. I had to allow myself to be woman. This is the shortest dress I had to wear in Dancing with the Stars, and some of you might notice how discomfort I am. In one of the episodes, we had to talk about a personal experience. I decided to talk about this experience of how I tried to not be beautiful in order to not become a victim again. Now, this is quite a known symptom. Many rape survivors hide themselves as means of protection. Following the show, a young lady contacted me, and she said that she was raped by her brother since the age 11 until she was 15. The first time I met her, she was a broken person, a shadow of a person. She looked like watercolored sketch. She couldn't look me in the eyes. She was wearing layers. And for 2 years, I basically shared with her everything that was shared with me prior to that. The next stage, I decided to move abroad. Ironically, it was LA, a place where objectification of women excels to an all new level. Seeing or witnessing how women are treated as body parts made me look into the way I was used. It forced me finally to attend my own wound. There was another element in being so far away from home. All my life, I was busy protecting my parents. I was sexually abused for the first time when I was 5 at home by a foreign worker, and then when I was 15, and then I was raped when I was 20. But because the first time happened at home, I was really busy protecting my parents all those years and trying to not make it painful for them, and I never really allowed my own pain to come up. So being so far away from home was crucial for my ability to work on Toolkit for rape recovery. It allowed me, for the first time, give some place to my own pain. So, one day, out of nowhere, my Toolkit inspiration uploads a photo of herself in a bikini. Now you remember what I said about not being beautiful. I talked to her on Skype, and this time she looks me in the eyes. And she tells me how now, 2 years later, after 2 years of unofficial coaching, she's now helping other women in their journey to recover. I was so proud of her. She was so beautiful to me that day, allowing herself to be beautiful again. And then the shower came. So one day I'm taking a bath and I'm thinking to myself, she's so amazing, I'm so proud of her, how I wish I could do it with more and more people. And at the same time, I realized that both mentally and physically, I cannot, because rape tends to flashback once you deal with it constantly. But I needed all this information to be out there for everyone at time of need. And then it hit me. YouTube. YouTube means it's always there, always available. Toolkit for Rape Recovery, an intimate one-on-one conversation in which I share everything that I've learned in my path of recovery. When I finished the first episode, I was planning to have a few episodes and then upload them, but when I finished the first episode, I thought to myself, well, I just uploaded to YouTube. I had no followers at the time, and once I'm ready, I wasn't courageous enough. Once I'm ready, I'll upload it into my social media. However, and I love this word, my YouTube account was connected to my Twitter account, and before I even realized what I'd done, the first journalist called me and asked if he could write a paper about Toolkit for rape recovery. So whether I was ready or not, Toolkit was out there making its first independent steps. The response was amazing across the board. It was retweeted by people like Roseanne Barr or Jenna Jameson, which you might know from various films. If while I was talking, a certain face or a name came into mind, check on them once you're back. Let them know you see them, because we all have the power to change people's lives. Thank you very much.